Hello. For those of you who don't know, I'm Megan Shane, and I'm the Scrum Master of the marketing and training team for the DH Leonard Consulting and Agile Nonprofits. I'm joined here today with Diane Leonard and Jessica Crowley. And y'all, I keep seeing these books behind you. Can you tell me a bit about them?
You mean all of these books?
Yeah.
It's really expensive real estate because it's not a big space. And so if a book ends up in this bookshelf, you know it's a good one. And so it's always been full of grant writing books. But I've had to really think about how I could make space for some of my favorite Agile and Scrum related books. So I'm glad you asked because I want to share a few of my favorites. We always talk about the Red Book, the one that's co-authored by Dr. Sutherland and J.J. Sutherland. But this past year, out came the Scrum Field Book, written by J.J. Sutherland, who's the CEO of Scrum. And I love it, not only because there's great case studies in it, but because one of our own colleagues, one of our co-trainers that we work with in Agile and Nonprofits, is in here. John Hasse is in this book. It's so cool to then go and train with him. But the case studies in this book are so practical and help organizations understand what Scrum might look like in their organization. So this one definitely got a spot in the real estate up there. And then I love talking about leadership, always have. My undergraduate degree had a minor in organizational behavior, so talking about anything leadership related always gets me excited. And the Agile Leadership Toolkit, I've been having a lot of fun with this one. I spoke at a United Way event not too long ago, and we were talking about Agile leadership and how it's not just about your title. And this book had some really great nuggets that nonprofit leaders, regardless of their title, regardless of whether they were thinking about being an executive director one day or not, whether they knew what Agile was or not, they really liked some of the takeaways from this book and some of the exercises that were in it. So that was a lot of fun. And then my third favorite that's up there right now, retrospectives. So Agile Retrospectives is a great book to give you ideas for how you can make the retrospective event in the Scrum framework, how you can make it your own. So when we do retrospectives as a team, we try to mix it up. We try to make it fun. Every team reacts in a different way to prompts when you're trying to figure out what you as a team can improve. And this book, it's a great one for giving you some ideas to help really just continue to improve your work and engage your team. So, well, I only picked 3 because if I talked about all the books, we'd be here all day. And I want to know, Jessica, what is on that bookshelf? What did you pick to share with us today?
Well, I could only pick 3. So the first book I picked was actually a book that started my Agile journey about 6.5 years ago. And this is from a fellow Agile and Nonprofits licensed Scrum trainer, Agile Leonard. He gave me this book as an easy read to kind of just get me used to what I should be coaching as a Scrum Master for my very first Scrum team. And I've never given it back because I marked it up and it's just so lightweight. It's a tiny little book, easy read. And I'll refer to it sometimes when I, what did that say about backlog refinement? I'll go back and look at it. I held on to this the first 2 years and used it every week. And then slowly as I've kind of gained experience, I use it less and less, but it's a great reference point. So I highly recommend this. It's called Scrum, a Pocket Guide. And like I said, it's simple and really easy to read. A more complex book, but also very, very valuable, is this book, User Story Mapping. And what I love about this book is it really helped me learn as a Scrum Master what I need to do to help coach my product owner to break and decompose stories and how to involve the development team and really understanding how that big piece of scope can be worked in vertical slices, which means basically that more than one skill set can work together to solve a problem. So I really like this book. And besides, it's very visual. I'm a visual person. So throughout, you'll see either real pictures of people story mapping, or you'll see graphics that just explain more and more to you. And I find that this is the type of book where you read it once through, and then when you're actually doing the activity, you pull it out and reference a few points in it. So I still use this today. I like this book a lot. The third book that I like and refer to a lot is this book, and let me see if I can get the light right on it. So it's Actionable Agile Metrics for Predictability. And the reason I love this book is this helped me think about the flow of my work, and metrics when I was ready to move beyond just a burn down and velocity charts. It's about 3 or 4 years in. Then this book was a great read because it taught me about driving towards outcomes instead of just having teams that are really busy and they're constantly active and churning through story points. How do I get everyone in my company focused on outcomes? And that's product in the hands of happy customers. So I'm really excited about this book as well. And I would say this is probably out of the 3, the more advanced one. And it's definitely the type of book where you read it when you have a problem to solve. So yeah, those very different books.
That last one though, Jess, I'm like, you're talking about outcomes, and nonprofits, we're all about outcomes, right?
Absolutely.
Smart objectives that lead towards outcomes that create impact in a community. And so I love that tie-in, that here we are thinking about how to help nonprofits create impact faster. It's not just about making your teams do work, whatever that work is, in a busier fashion, faster, just kind of, as you said, kind of turning through story points. It's about creating that outcome. And so I think that's the perfect one for us to end our little book discussion on today. Meg, we're going to keep talking about books more, aren't we? Because books are kind of our team's thing.
They are, and I love it. We do have quite a few book clubs coming up, and I'll link those below so you guys can register and join us for an hour-long free discussion on the Scrum books. And we would love to hear what's on your Agile and nonprofit bookshelf. So share with us below in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss any of our tips and tricks.